You're good to go?
Yes.
Excellent. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Talk to Danielle podcast. I am your host, Danielle C. Baker. And before we get started with today's topic and our today's guest, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to whichever channel you're listening or watching from. And today I have another amazing guest. I know I always describe them as amazing guests, but this one is almost like a sister to me. We've worked together, we've had the same mentor, and it's just beautiful to watch her, just everything growing for her and everything that she does. And the topic is also a very important topic to be listening to. So today I have the lovely Sat Kirtan Kaur, sorry, Khalsa. I am so sorry. The French just kicked in. But she's this wonderful person who does great work. And I'm not going to say anymore. I'm going to put the spotlight on her. And thank you so much, Satyatan, to come on today. It's wonderful.
Thank you for having me. It's wonderful and beautiful to be here with you, Daniela.
Thank you so much. And before we get going with everything that you do, can you tell us a little bit about your story and how you got to where you are today?
Yeah, well, I think 20 years ago, I was working at a bank as a database marketer, and my body was not feeling happy. I was having all these kind of diseases, and I was like, come on, I'm so young. I don't want to die like this. There should be something that I could do differently so I become healthy and happy again. And that's when one day I was running and I had this voice within me that said, you should become a yoga teacher. And I was like, what? Who's telling me this? I had only the idea of yoga that you should be so flexible and so calm, and I was everything except that. And I told myself, okay, if I have this voice in my head, it's still valid. Half a year from now, I will do it. And yeah, that voice was still there, and I started doing it, and I found Kundalini yoga on my path, and everything after that was a different way of life, but it was because I started to listen to my soul and to really trust that inner voice that was there. And it's important, because you can also miss it and you can think, okay, I could do that. I had been doing that for a long time. That's why I think my body was not feeling happy. But then when I started doing it, like after 3 weeks of doing this Kundalini yoga, my complaints were gone. My body was healthy and happy again.
Wow.
So it's really transformative in that quick, because I was listening to what was really deep within me.
Yeah.
That voice was so clear. So sometimes you know.
That's right. You just know, and like you said, when you ignore it, because we will ignore it, the body tells us that we need to listen to that voice. So
either your body's telling you it, or how your situation is moving, or how your mood is. It's so simple in the end when you learn to trust your inner knowledge and your inner knowing that's really what's going to make you happy. Then life is easy and life is fun.
And that's a little scary at first when you don't know how to do, and especially the world that you were coming from with banking, and it's so logical, calculated, structured, and then you're going into, I'm just going to trust my gut. And so because I did have a question of if there was an actual defining moment, but I'd like to put a twist on it and say, how was that received, either with your coworkers or with your family? Because you kind of explained a little bit how it came to be, but how was that? And how did you feel about it? Did you feel scared? Did you feel worried that you'd get judged or anything like that? How did that feel?
I definitely felt scared, and because I come from like the north of the Holland, and this is really like just be normal. That's all you need to do. So then when I first entered into, like, my first connection with Kundalini Yoga was with my teacher, and she lived in Amsterdam, and I also just started living in Amsterdam. And she invited me for a special ceremony at her home, and it was raining and windy, and I was riding on my bike because here in Holland everyone rides their bike. So I came in, and she opened the door, and I remember seeing this big turban and a big smile, and I was like, oh my gosh, what's this? Why am I getting into? Why are people so strange? They were sitting on the floor and eating food that I never eaten before, and they had like singing mantras, or I was like, come on, what is this? And my mind was really like, oh, no, 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 let's get away, let's go. But my heart just said, let's do this, let's stay and let's feel. And that day I decided, okay, I am going to give myself a try and open this. And for this experience, I have nothing to lose. I broke up with my relationship before that. So I was just by myself, really having all the space to explore and to go deep within myself. And yeah, it's been a journey.
Yeah, it's incredible when you open yourself up to something that you would normally shut down, and it turns out to be the thing that you needed. So I
Yes,
think
it
that's great.
definitely is. Yeah, because
Yeah,
I was really like this shy little girl that was there, but really kind of pushing herself. And now I can just be there and know that my soul is needed, my light is needed, and whatever I do from love and not from that I need to do things. No, I do it because I feel inspired to do it. And that's a total different kind of attitude to working. If you're doing work from inspiration or from motivation, because if you work from motivation, you are really getting tired from it. But if the inspiration comes, you're like, oh, I want to do that. And there's so much energy just coming up. And this is the thing that I always teach people, if you're, as long as you don't feel the motivation or the inspiration from the inside, just wait. It's not the right moment yet.
and that's a good point. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
but it's also
motivation.
very, because we're so action oriented, and we feel like when we're in action, we're being rewarded, and if we don't act, we're lazy, and it's really, but to dare to relax and to open ourselves and to go for a walk or to just do nothing, close your eyes or start a meeting in silence, these are the things that are so valuable, because when you are connected back to yourself and align yourself, then all the information that you were looking for, that you've been working so hard for, all the right answers are just right there. All the
Yeah,
right questions are right there. If you can trust, then, you don't need to, you're prepared. You
yeah,
know that. And
I
that's,
like that. Yeah,
yeah.
because coming from motivation, I find once you lose that motivation, it's hard to keep going. Whereas the inspiration just keeps you going. It gives you the
Yes.
momentum. That's
Right.
wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
I know that when we first met a few years back already, I think it's been almost 3 years. The You were working on bringing yoga into business, and using yoga as a tool to inspire people in their work and be more effective. So can you share a little bit? You have an amazing approach of using that
Yes.
to help run business more effectively, and you have workshops and
Yes, I even wrote a book on it. I wrote two books, but this one is my first book, or it's called yeah, you can see, but it's Bye Stress in 9 minutes or less. And it's the 9 minute meditation Yogi Bhajan gave us. It's 3 exercises of just 3 minutes. But if you do that, you feel totally inspired and motivated and really realigned yourself. even there's one, I'm doing it now every day, and it's giving you a new life, and it has like the effect on a molecular level. It's really working on the cells of your body. So we know about our laptop, and we know about our mobile phone. It needs to be updated all the time, but we don't know how to update the software within our own body. And these meditations are updating our software. They create new pathways in our brain, and that's what we need. We need to work on and enhance our nervous system, because everything is going so much faster, so much more information is coming to us. How are we going to deal with it if our nervous system is not working, or still working in 2000? We're now in 2023. You need to update it. You see it with the kids. They already come with a different alignment, different wired, because they need to be different, because they have different approaches to life, and they are able to face the challenges in a way more advanced way than we are. So if we want to keep up, we can read books, but we also need to align our system and update our system. So
I like that.
that's what I teach in businesses, and I teach other yoga teachers who already know this, and I give them the courage and the model and the system to start teaching in companies, because there are too many stressed people. I can't do them all by myself. But if we all do it together, if everyone brings their own little piece, then we can spread it, and we can bring this peace and love into the business world.
Right. Yeah. And I think there's more companies that are open to that, because they see, especially with your model of 9 minutes, you're not picking up on a half a day. You're not taking up a whole day of people's work, but it's still effective enough that you'll notice the results within the team.
It is definitely effective. Yes. And that's, and what I noticed is that it was so effective because this yoga, it brings you back to yourself. And so many people within companies, they are there, but they are not connected to themselves. They are listening to all the orders of everyone else, and that's what they are being paid for, and that's what they are there for. But sometimes they forget that they also have orders from within. So it helps them to reconnect back to themselves, and the ones that feel, okay, I am totally in my comfort zone, and I'm in my space where I am in this company, they will stay, and they will be so of value within the company. But there are also people who are there, but not for their, not really with their heart and their whole being. And usually those are the ones that leave the company. And sometimes for managers, it's very scary, because they feel like, oh, yeah, but then I don't know, I can't control my people anymore. And that's why I wrote my other book. It is the new one. It's How to Become a Conscious Leader, the vital lessons CEOs can learn from a yogi. Because you need CEOs in your team, not just you as a CEO, but everyone should be their own CEO. And together you can create something so beautiful. But if you have people just only following, you are pushing and you are motivating them all the time. But we've just already spoken about, it's not coming from inspiration. So it's like you're putting so much energy into it, so much effort, and it's all going down the drain. And you're like, why is everything going down the drain? Of course, because it's not a sheep. We are humans, and we have so much uniqueness to give. And if we are connected to our own uniqueness, if we know our purpose, everyone has a purpose. If we know it, if we listen to it, and we are put on our place, and we get that space, we get that trust from the people around us. Wow. Then so much energy is coming, and so much beauty is being there.
That's wonderful. Yeah. And I agree with you with the CEO or the leadership. If you're a lot of leaders or a lot of CEOs will complain that they keep telling the people the same thing over and over again. And that's just, again, because you're controlling too much. If you let go of that control, and that is scary, it frees you up. You can actually breathe, and you can create more. It gives you time to bring the company even further, because now you have time to focus on what you're supposed to be doing as a leader.
Yes, right.
And that's
Yes.
wonderful. Can you
Yeah.
share with us a little bit of, with some of the companies that you've worked with, some transformations that you've seen from before and after they've worked with you?
Yes. Well, there's so many different stories, but let me take one. It was like he was a lawyer, and he worked in a very big farm, and he was really complaining of how the people were treated within the farm, and it was not fair, and he wanted to change it. And he was really, it was like, it was so much frustration because he knew it could be different.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like he was really like talking and feeling. And then one day we did a beautiful exercise, and it was, how, if you stay with this company, how do you feel? And if you start your own company, how would you feel? And that was like a change within him, and he knew, okay, I know what I gotta do.
Mm-hmm.
And now, years later, he has his own company, his own firm, and he's working less, having more time with his family, his wife, everything is working out. And just because he stopped the complaining and he took the control and the responsibility, and he just found the peace within and the courage within to do it in his way. So this is one of the things that people do when you start working, because I love to work with people individually, because people really need this sacred space where they can feel safe and can say anything without anyone else hearing them, so they can really go deep into their story. So, and especially for CEOs, because they are at the top and they feel like, oh, I cannot show my emotion, because if I show my emotion, if I show my insecurity, if I show my doubts, what will happen? So I am a strong woman or strong man. And of course, this is not healthy. You cannot hold that for a long time. Something, you hide something. So when I work with them, I always say, okay, what is it that you're hiding for the people? What is it that you cannot say? You can tell me, and I don't listen, but they just need to speak. It needs to be out there.
Yeah.
And then there's space. Okay. All right. Now this is out. So we open this box, and then there's so much room for relaxation, so much room for really the human side of it. Because, we are humans. We're not robots. If we were robots, we would put a robot at the CEO, but we're not. Not yet, at least. So far, we're still humans, and we're still like in the lead. So yeah,
Yeah.
this is something that I really feel is important, that we all have our traumas with us. And if we cannot look at them, if we cannot know that they are there, we don't need to dig deep into it and, go back to it all the time. I'm not like that. As I don't feel the need to do it, but we need to know that we have it, and we need to know how it affects us, how it affects our communication, how it affects our expectation, how it affects our reaction to things. We just need to know. And to know what is going on, and to know ourselves, to really have that self-knowledge, that's one of the most important things. Because if you understand why things happen to you, why you are the way you are, and you react to things the way you react, it's like then you can make the change. Otherwise, you will run in this, you stay in the same thing and you're just starting to complain. You're like, why is this happening to me again? Why? Well, because there's
Yeah,
something.
it wasn't addressed. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So we need to look at that, and especially leaders, they need to dare to open their heart. And if they dare to open their heart and to look at the things that are hard for them, they understand what's going on within their organization. And the organization is just a big, big mirror of all the things that are not flowing within them. So if I ask them, okay, what is going on? I already know easily, okay, so this is going on. Okay, how does it reflect back in your life? Oh, does it have any effect? Yes, it does.
Yeah. It always does. Yeah.
It always does. But to have that look and to dare to look at yourself that way can be confronting. And yeah,
Yeah.
but it is
Because
the work.
it is so it's the work, and because we are the way we are because we've been avoiding what we need to address. So
Yes.
that's where the help you do need help, and more people are going towards what they call aligned leadership now, where the leaders or the CEOs are focusing on being conscious and aligned with what they do because they lead by example, and that's the only way you can show your
Yes.
team how to do it, is to
Yes.
do it yourself. That kind
Yes.
of leads me into your book, because you did mention briefly that that second book that you have for the conscious CEO. Can you tell us a little bit more about your
Yeah,
book?
I'll show this as well. I love the cover. It's
I
me on,
know, I
yeah,
love that picture. Yeah, it's such a beautiful picture.
I was on Ibiza that, where is it taken? And this, but, to look at the sea, and this is really the image, if you as a CEO know where you want to go, if you know what it is that you want to bring onto this earth, this is all you need to focus on, all. Just visualize your company doing it and see all the people so happy and grateful. Your customers are so happy with the products that you make or the services that you deliver, and you really have an impact on the environment and on so many people. If this is what you do, this is what you as a CEO do, and all the other things are done by others. But try to really focus. This is your main issue, main topic to spend your time on. Because if you do that, all the actions and all the things will flow in that direction. If you start to worry about all the things, all this worry comes to you. So and when I tell them, they're like, is this really true? Do I really need to do that? It's like, yeah, just try it. You can hear my words, but you have to try it and you have to visualize it. And I've seen really people telling me, oh, after working with you, all my dreams have become true. It's like, because I tell them to dream and I really visualize it and just really take the time to focus on that, to know what it is that they really want, because sometimes we're so distracted by all the little things that are happening that we only look at our moment day-to-day things. And yeah, we look here, not always everything is so happy, but then if you take this time every day again, oh no, this is why I started this company, or this is why I'm working here. This is where we want to go. And this is what I see. This is the impact that we have on this planet. This is the impact it has on me, on all the generations that are following me. This is the work, because I know you're an indigenous person, right? And it's like this is what we learned from you. It's not our own generation. No, you have to look 7 generations ahead of you. This is the spot you are. So it's not just now. No, what you're doing has an impact on 7 generations. If you can't think about that, then you understand how important it is.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
because you really are leaving a mark for the next generations as well.
yes,
Mm.
yes. And then if people really understand that, and they understand the value of meditation, they understand the value of visualization, and they see the results because they want to see the results. So we always start with little things that can get easily get like, oh yeah, I see it working. And then, you have to build that momentum because it's not like it's it's so easy and so simple, but it really needs practice. And it's the mind and the world around us is not yet so much attuned to this. So there's so much noise and things that will take you away from it and put you back here in the here and now. And yeah, come on, we need to do action. We're so action driven. But we are now in this time that we are in the Aquarian age. We in the age before, like in the Piscean age, it was to be or not to be. So that's why we always were competing and comparing and complaining, and if it wasn't working. But now we are in the Aquarian age, and in the Aquarian age, it's to be, to be. And so we are really moving from this me to we, and even to thee, like thy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we learn again the power of intuition, the power of intention, the power of prayer. If we
Mm.
can bring that back into companies, the power of rituals, you already see this so much happening. So many rituals are again getting the value that they used to have before, because we kind of lost that during the industrial revolution. And we were only in our minds, but now we have to connect back to our heart and align ourselves to that. Yeah.
Yeah. And that is an important step. It has to be a holistic approach to business as well. And you need to have everybody on the same page. So that's the best way to do it, is to have it
Yes. Yes.
reintegrated, make it your
Yes.
own. Yeah. You have a webinar that you're just starting up that kind of was inspired from that book. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, thank you for asking. Yeah, the webinar is really, it's 1 hour, and in it we will discuss and discover what is the 5 C's, the 5 vital lessons that CEOs can learn, and we will really look in why is it not needed to become a conscious leader, and what does it take, and how can I do this? And for everyone who is interested and who feels like, yeah, I feel there's something more, and I feel that the old way is not serving me as much as it was before. I'm open to a new way. I'm open to just try something new, because I know something new is needed, and I want to learn again how to trust my intuition so I can make that impact, but not from working day and night. No, I want to do it from the inspiration, and I want to attract the right people to me. And how do I do that? How do I become a magnet? How does my radiant body work? And how does all these things work? These are the things that we will discuss. Of course, we cannot probably go through all the things, but this is the energy that you can again feel like, yes, I want to learn, and I want to be able to trust my own intuition, and I want to be in a community of people who also feel this, because you cannot do this by yourself. You need a community. So we are building like this conscious leader community where you can feel and you can talk to others, and you can really connect and see, okay, how are you doing it? And you can inspire each other, inspire to be the best person and the best CEO you can be. And I talk about CEOs, and then, at least in my mind, it's like, oh, but I don't have a big company. am I a CEO? But you are the CEO of the most important person, the most important one. You're the person, you're the CEO of your own self. You're probably CEO of your own family, and maybe even, your group or your community. So everyone is invited to join this, because you all are a leader. And it's, you have to start leading yourself again and trusting yourself. And you'll see when you start doing that, how many amazing people are coming on your way, and projects, and how it makes you feel. Because, the one there, I describe in my book the 5 C's of conscious leadership. And it's like, the first one is consciousness, then the second one is commitment, and the third one is character, because that commitment gives you character, and that character gives you so much courage, and that courage helps you to live up to your caliber. And these 5 C's, these are like, this is a spiral that you go through, and it helps you to stop doing three things, like 3 C's. And this is compare, compete, and complain. And if you can stop these 3, there will be so much space and so much room to breathe and just to be. So that's you can. I could already, just by saying it to you, I could feel it in my body.
Yeah, you're right. You automatically feel it, and it's not just for, like you mentioned. That's what I like, is it's not just business. It can be for anything. You are the CEO of everything in your life, so it's you can transfer those skills from any aspect of your life. So I think that's wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Yes.
it is going to be starting. That webinar is offered just before this will air, but we'll give you the links, because it will be an ongoing thing, or there'll be more opportunities people can join. And we'll talk a little bit later about what else is new and what's coming up. But I'm curious to know if you would have, with everything, your life experience, if there's some kind of wisdom of advice that you wish you would have gotten sooner, just to make your life easier.
Yes, that's really the power of the mind, and that you can really create your own life, and that it's not that you can, it is that you create your own life. And if it's not the way you want it, it's still you created this. It's not, you cannot blame anyone, because if you put your finger to one person, it's like you're putting 3 fingers to yourself. And I wish I'd known that before. Then I would not have blamed so many people. If I did blame you and you hear this, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I just was like, I just didn't know. So if you feel like, and you start maybe blaming the society, school, parents, whatever situation, but it is, you create your own reality with your thoughts. So with your thoughts, you can also create a reality that is really beautiful, and that is the way you want it. And that's the work that we need to learn again, how our mind and how our thoughts are effective, and how they are vibrating, and how through our words and through our thinking we attract what is coming. And
that's amazing. That's a hard one to accept. I've living through it myself. It just, when you have to let go and say, you know what, the common denominator and everything that's going on in my life is me. So I need to start looking at me and say, what am I doing that's creating this? And that's not easy. When you're in the ego, it's so not easy. It's much easier to blame everybody else than everything else.
Yes.
But when you start working on yourself, everything opens up. You mentioned that earlier with the when you were explaining the webinar, things just kind of happen. They just kind of come, and you're thinking, it just dropped on my lap. What's happening? Like you don't even have to chase anything anymore. It's coming right at you.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
great piece of advice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So another thing I'd like to get, and we're getting it from a yogi, so I'm really curious to know how do you find balance in your life? I mean, you're doing all this work, these webinars, you have speaking engagements, you're writing books, you have your own family, you're running your own business. How do you find that balance in everything?
Ah, that's the one thing. I have a few must every day, and and the other. So the one thing I do is when I wake up, I first take time for myself. So this is me time. It's the time I do my yoga, I meditate, I do my prayers, I wake up my guru. I'm really in align myself. And then the world starts, kids, family. That's the second part of the day. And then there's the time I work on my company, I work with my clients, I do the webinars, I do all their teachings, I do that. And then again, every day also, I go for a walk. Or if I cannot make it outside, I go and jump on my trampoline. So I get my body moving. I really need that. So I need that movement in my body. And then and I try to do that like at lunch. I don't not just only eat lunch, but I also do a meditation at lunch. So that's again, like there are like segments in the day. So I have all these segments, and I'm really, whatever I know that I'm doing it with the best I can. So I remind myself, and if I hear myself complaining, I was like, said Kirtan, we're not going to complain. And then I can laugh about it because I'm not perfect. I'm a person. So
Right.
yeah, and then again, when I go to bed before, again, I'm grateful for the day. I close myself like in a meditation. So I really know when the things that I need to do and how I need to take care of myself. This is the thing. These are my must. And all the other things, they come. But taking care of myself is my highest priority. And I do this in my way by meditating, by dancing, by reading, by singing, by chanting. And these are the things that I really, really do. And also, being together with other people who meditate, and this is so helpful, it's so nourishing. So I have my groups and I have my people that I can connect to myself, and I can be vulnerable, and I that's it. I have this, I feel it's in balance. So I can be like the tough one, but I can also be the soft one. And to know when to switch to these, it's good. And
Yeah.
and to know that my breath is my best friend, and that my I have a guru in my home, and I can bow my head to this higher entity. That's something that's all there is for me, and that's so helpful to know that I can bow my head and I can just say, okay, thank you, I am here, I am open to whatever I need to do. Tell me, I will listen. Give me everything I need. And I do what I can do, and all the rest, I say, universe, please take care of it. And it
Yeah.
does, you know. Everything that I feel like, oh, this is too big for me, or it's been on my list too long, I say, okay, now, universe, please, I have no idea how to fix it. I don't know. You can take care of it now. I think you are better at this. And then someone comes, like, oh yeah, can you? I was, and then they're like the perfect one to either do a website or whatever it's needed. And or someone sent me a house the other day, like, oh wow, this is your dream house. This is where you should give your yoga. I was like, okay, thank you. And then so things just come if you trust. And this is
Yes.
this is the thing that I feel is the biggest work, to be and to trust.
Yeah. And that's surrendering, living in
Yes,
gratitude and surrender.
yes,
Like you
yes,
said, to be able to just bow and say, this is bigger than me, take over, I trust. That's huge when you're so used to, when we're programmed to control everything. And, but
yes,
it's so freeing when
yes.
you do let go and you
And
just
actually,
kind of,
it's very easy. I tell my kids, and they are very smart, but I tell my kids, okay, you have to do what is making you happy. Sometimes I want them to do things, and then they're like, Mama, it's not going to make me happy. I was like, okay, then you don't need to do it now. Just do it whenever it's going to make you happy. Because, I don't, and it's really working out. It's really trusting and giving them also this knowledge and this experience that we are here. Happiness is our birthright, so do whatever is making you happy. And yes, I'm your mother, but you came through me. You are you are really your own identity, and I'm here to serve you. And in any way I will help you, but let's work together and let's create as much happiness as we can together. And it
yeah,
doesn't mean that they don't go to bed, or they are totally, but it really means that they have their own responsibility of how they feel. It is their
yeah.
responsibility. And yeah, it's been, I haven't been doing it for so long, but for a few months now, and I
Mm.
really like how it's turning out.
That's amazing. You're talking my language now, because that's what I do. And this is why the podcast kind of came to be, with that question of, what's the advice you wish you would have had sooner, or how do you balance everything in your life? Because it is important, whatever it is that we do, that we teach our children so that it can make their life a little easier
Yes,
sooner. So, and
yes,
you're the only person, from the training that I have, the only person I know who's actually said, this child that came through me. It
mm,
didn't come from me, but through me. So you don't own this individual. They
yeah,
need to be their own person. And the fact that you're respecting that, it kind of, it just it helps them to build trust, to their self-identity, their self-esteem.
yeah,
And things need to be done. That's what I say. They're not just running wild, but things need to be done. And let's work together and
yes,
figure out a way that we all feel comfortable and get the results. So again, team
yeah,
leaders and problem
yes,
solving, it's all part of it. It's amazing. Oh, I
yes.
love it.
It's not always easy because
No,
I'm programmed in a way,
exactly.
but
Yeah.
they remind me. And then whenever I'm out of alignment, and I'm like, you should do this, and like that.
Yeah.
But Mama, you said we could do whatever we felt like would make us happy. It's like, okay, thank you for reminding me the way you want it. Then I surrender again, because the kids
Yeah.
are such a big teachers.
That's the thing. We learn a lot if we're open to it. They teach us a lot, and yeah, we come from that world of, you do it because I said so. Whether it is the parental figure or at work, if there's like the hierarchy, you say, "Well, I said it, you do it." Doesn't work. So teaching your children to
Yes.
just kind of, you're creating aligned leaders, their own
Yes.
CEO very early, make their
Mm,
life a lot easier. So if you can't do it for
yes.
yourself, do it for your children.
Yeah, that's what I
I love
felt like. Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I hope
love
it
it. I like,
inspires others. And yeah,
yeah,
if you want to have some to breathe out, because all the things that you feel like, oh, is it really going to work out? Because it
yeah.
has, it's work within you that you need to do. At least I feel this when I do this with them. I feel so many layers within me that needs to be
Mm,
opened. And oh, okay, I know this is good, but does it make me feel? That's also, yeah,
That's nice.
but it's exciting. And then again, right, what you said, if CEOs can also have this approach. And I was lucky. I worked for 7 years for one boss, and he was always interested in how I feel. He was
Oh,
always,
that's
how
rare.
are you doing? How are you doing? Oh, I see something is going on. Can we have a talk? And he was the one that really made me feel like, okay, this is kind of a home, and I can feel and I can be whoever I want, and I know that's and I did whatever I needed to do. I did it because I felt like, okay, this is great because I'm respected.
Yeah.
I'm not here because of the work I'm doing. No, he's not talking to me like that. He's really interested in my well-being. And this was something that I really felt, that was something that was when I didn't want to leave that job, that boss. I could leave the job, but leaving that boss was really harder. But in the end, I did both. But we're
Yeah.
still in contact. Yeah.
That's nice, but that says it all, the impact that a leader can have on a
Ah,
team like that, where they're coming to work because you're there, not because of
yes.
the money. Or well, obviously they're there for the budget as well, but you're inspiring them. You're their source of
Yes.
inspiration. It's
Yeah.
important.
Yes, and it's really, this is the thing, also, if you can really look at the human being behind your employee, if you really are
Mhm.
interested in that, you know, so many more things are opening up. Um, yeah, that's what I always tell my people. Yeah.
It's amazing. I could talk to
Mhm.
you all day, but I'm going to try to keep it under our time. Now, you mentioned about your webinar that's going to be starting. We're recording it. It'll be a couple of days. That will happen before
Yeah.
this episode airs. But is there anything else that's coming up? Anything new coming up for you?
Actually, the webinar, you also wrote a book through Jerry Robert, right?
Right.
And recently, it was really, I asked in my prayer that, my work is so valuable, and I really felt like, universe, give me something so I can spread my work to a bigger and a larger audience. And that night, I received a message from Jerry Robert. Do you have a coaching program, Miss? He said, Miss Sat, do you have a coaching program? I was like, yes, I do. I have a conscious leadership program. All right. I'm going to help you sell this and bring it into the world. So this is what's going
Right.
to happen right now. And I'm going to host a 2.5 day conscious leadership experience together with Jerry Roberts. So I'm like, be careful what you wish for, because wishes come true. But it is really, if we, your prayer and your intention, if it's pure and if it's aligned, people
Hmm.
come. And for those who don't know Jerry Robert is the one who is like the marketing brain behind The Secret. He has been speaking all over the world to thousands and thousands of people, in front of Tony Robbins and all these big shots. So he knows, and there's one thing he loves doing, and that is selling and getting people on board. So
Yeah.
whenever, and yeah, but I I really, just through working with him, I understood why he loved selling so much. Because if you sell people, you don't, it's not for the money, it's for the transformation that sell that has for the people that go through it. Because I don't know for you, but writing a book through Black Card Books and having this whole program, it really was a big transformation for me, because I
Hmm.
really felt like, wow, there's so much more, and there's like a whole new era and a whole new paradigm that opened up for me, because
Yeah.
I already had my own other book and I was already teaching, like, but it was only within the Kundalini yoga, and now it's opening up to the whole world. I feel like
Yeah.
everyone who is ready and feels resonant with my message, they can come and I can share and I can bring this inner peace that's so needed, and this trust on your inner being and knowing who you are based.
Mm.
I don't know, there's one thing I would like to share. I always forget almost, because beside yoga I also do numerology, and based
Mm.
upon your date of birth I can let you know what is your purpose. And I always look at that because the date of birth is like solid, it's not changing.
Yep.
And through looking at that, I can tell you things that you feel like, I never ever told someone, but it is true. And when someone from the outside tells you something that is true, that you feel from the inside, it helps you to say, okay, now I'm going to go for
Yep.
it. I'm going to align myself and I'm going to do it. So that's what I'm going.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited. Really excited. And
That is so excited. Yeah, it's exciting to hear too because Jerry, like you mentioned, for those who don't know Jerry Roberts, he's a big mentor of ours, and going through the program with Black Card Books, everybody that I know that I've seen that have actually gone through the program has had a huge transformation. It's not just about writing your book, but it's about everything else that goes beyond the book. And it's one thing everybody who has worked with Jerry will say, "Oh, I wish I could work with him," but for him to actually come to you and say, "I want to work with you," that is just
yes,
unbelievable. Yeah.
and then I sent him my work and he said, "Wow, I'm really impressed by what you're doing." I was like, "Wow, that I can impress someone like that." I was so humble. I was really like, "Oh,
Yeah.
thank you." And thank you for allowing me to thanked myself, but also the universe and all these
Yeah.
energies that are there to help us. I just really like, thank you for giving me this opportunity to share, because it's really needed, and this is what I've
Mhm.
felt. The energy of light and of love is so needed within the world, and it's so easy. I have so many ideas that are very practical and so easy to implement. And we can change it. I have like 10,000 different meditations I can give you, and I can tune in, and see, okay, this is what you're walking against, this is what's blocking you. Do this meditation and you'll notice, I'm not, you're not going to give your problems to me. No, I'm going to give you a tool so you
Mhm.
can become and you can open up and you can work through the things that you're blocked with,
Yeah.
and then, because that's what we can do. We can all do what we can do, and I can inspire you to be and to really feel that light and that love within yourself. And there's, it's there already, and you know it. And we all know it. Everyone who is listening to it, everyone knows exactly what is the next step to being a little bit more happy. And that's all you need to know. You don't need to know in 5 years where you want to go. No, if you know right now, what is the thing that would make me happy? Is it go to bed or go to do this? Or, just very simple, but really listen to your inner knowing and just what's making you happy. If this is going to make you happy, do it, and
Yeah.
that's it. Don't think, because the
Hmm.
whole thinking, in the morning I say like a prayer, and in it is like thinking and thinking and thinking, and it's not going to give you anything. You can think 1,000, 10,000, 1,000,000 thoughts, but it's not going to bring you anywhere.
That's right. That's right.
So stop thinking. Start listening. Yeah.
I love that. Stop thinking. I love it.
Yeah.
I
And
love
it's
it. Yeah. No, but it's so true. Uh, I I do have one question that I ask everybody, and it was a little girl that had interviewed me once for a school project. She asked me that question, and I absolutely loved it because I'm a big child at heart. And so I answered, and she was all happy because the other adults she asked wouldn't answer her. So, and I just love it because when you're in a place of growth and when you know you're constantly evolving, I think we should be asking adults this question more often. And like you said, to update the software, this question is, what do you want to be when you grow up?
yeah, I saw it. When my kids asked this question. Um, yeah. What do I want to be? I want to be happy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and whatever that will be. Because I
whatever
never
that
knew
looks.
I never knew I would be a yoga teacher. But
Mhm.
but I knew I wanted to be happy, and maybe I want to do something with horses. And I see myself, because I study tourism, so I see myself in a beautiful country with the palm trees and nice weather, having a horse and something like that. That would be like a dream. Yeah,
That's amazing. Oh, I love that.
yeah,
And I love that being happy, it opens up to anything. 5 years from now, it could be something different. So I love it. It's
yeah.
constant. It's great. I would talk to you all day. I just love how it just flows. It's just so easy. But we're gonna have to wrap it up. Before we do, how can people follow you, um, or get in touch with you if they do want to know more about the work that you do?
Yes. Well, you put all the links down below,
Mhm.
but my website is www.investinyoga.com because I started my company when I was still working in the bank, and I was like, we can invest, but let's invest in ourselves and let's invest in yoga. That is for sure that it will give you a good return on investment. So that's how I came up with that name. And you can find me on Facebook or on Instagram or LinkedIn. So it's Sat Kirtan Khalsa or Invest in Yoga, in one of these two. You'll find it. And yeah, you can always also just send me a message, and I'm happy to respond to you or follow me. And yeah, whatever ways I can inspire you, I would be happy to do so. And I would love to see all of you one day in the webinar or in the programs that I offer. And
Yeah,
yeah,
that's amazing. And I will add it to the description in the comments so that people can easily have access to your networks. So that's
yeah, there are
amazing.
not
Thank
that
you.
many set curtains, so it's easy to find me. Maybe that's something nice to end with, because many people might ask, why do you have such a name? And
Mhm.
it's not the name I was born with, it's the name, it's my spiritual name. And it means, Sat means truth, and Kirtan is like the music that you can hear in Indian temples. So
Mm.
Satkirtan means, like, for me, it means I bring the truth. So it sounds like a beautiful sound and a beautiful
Yeah,
music. And
that's beautiful.
yeah, and I really feel the truth of that. The truth can be hard sometimes, but it is what we want to hear. And it is
Yeah,
what touches our heart the deepest. So, yeah,
beautiful, beautiful. The
amazing.
music to your soul. It's just wonderful. Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much for joining me again. I can't wait to see what's next for you because I've
Yeah,
been watching the process, and I'm the cheerleader in the back going, yay, second, yay. I'm
yeah.
so happy for you. Thank you again, and for everyone who is watching and listening, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to follow and subscribe to Secret's channels as well. Don't forget to look for the description for the links. And until next time, stay safe, stay awesome, and we'll talk soon.